Them niggas shrink around you, man. You know what I'm saying? They just in the space probably before you was a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But them niggas shrink when you come around. That's why them niggas don't want you around.
Situation with the genders and all of that shit that we've been hearing about. And there's nobody better than the gore philosophical to come set that bitch off.
Yo, you know the game been.
What's up? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? It can sound good. It can sound good. It can sound good. Let me know in the chat. Can y'all hear me? What's up? What's up? Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Can y'all hear me? What's up, T? What up? Y'all can hear me? Everything good? Everything good? We good? Sound? All right, let's go. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Y'all see the fly? Y'all already see what time it is. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, but you see the title. Shorty's full of shit, and so are you. And when I say so are you, I mean anybody that try to use her content, anybody that try to use her perspective to try to shame brothers or try to make it seem like they got some new voice of truth. When it wasn't that. And for her to double back on her message and to totally disagree with what men were saying initially that caused her to become so antagonistic doesn't make any damn sense. And the issue with a lot of people, peace to everybody in the chat, salute to Hassan Tahir, Picasso of the South, what up? SB, what up? T, what up? What's going on, everybody? Please like, share the stream. Tay for L, what's good? What's good? Boy, I had a good holiday week. If you celebrate Christmas or not, I hope you had some time, reflect or spend time with your family, all that good stuff. But yeah, so back to the matter at hand. The problem with people like her is, and a lot of people who had these perspectives on men, they're not evaluating the dynamic of the mate. So if you're looking at somebody who's dealing with someone who you already have absolved responsibility from, that person might look antagonistic. That person might look unhealthy or emotionally slow or emotionally out of touch with their mate. When you're watching someone who's interacting with someone who's selfish, your analysis on what you're noticing may be off. And for her to come full circle, because it's not just about her, she represents a mindset. She represents a consciousness that is bigger than her. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking against that. Shout out to Built Like a Conqueror, King. Peace to Marcus Evans. Peace, everybody. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for pulling up. So that's the case. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you was making these assessments about men, sweetheart, those men were dealing with narcissistic energy when you were making your half-ass assessment. You know what I'm saying? So I want to get into some of her clips and some of the things she said in the past that was red flags to me, to let me know that I don't really agree, or I don't think she understands what she's talking about. And we're going to get into it. Let me share the screen. Let me share the clip. Hey, shout out to everybody. Please salute the channel. Donate, super chat. Y'all already know the vibes. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. So, as you can see by the title, a woman's curse now is being under a man. Now, mind you, this woman is dressed like a man, speaks like a man, gets all her talking points and her perspectives from the scholarship of men, while telling you men are incapable of love. You understand something? Love is such a overused word, and there's so many layers to what the word love means. Love is an action word as well. So when men are, love is not just ooh, baby, hugging you, kissing you. Love is acts. Love is putting out knowledge and information that people can benefit from when you leave this planet. Men do that a lot. That's an act of love, to build structures that people can benefit from, to build infrastructures that can feed people, that can make things more modernized, make work more efficiently. These are acts of love that women don't understand because they think love is just an emotion and a feeling and something that's supposed to evoke some type of feeling. But love is structure. Love is support. Love is it's a lot of things that's more than just a romantic exchange of gifts and time and physicality. So when these women be coming out and saying men don't know how to love, they don't even understand the depths of love. Sometimes your father loves you and he works a lot and he may not be physically available to give you that certain type of affection or love. Not saying that that's not relevant, it is, but love is shown through many different facets. Peace to Vivian. She's in the chat. What's going on, Vivian? Peace, peace, peace. Thanks for pulling up. And like I said, y'all, please support the channel. Hit the Cash App. We grown, we trying to grow. You know, this time consuming, the cost, the technology cost, the equipment cost, you know, everything has a fee. So I appreciate all the support, the love, the likes, the shares, all that's relevant, the comments, all of that. But please support. You know, we are not passing around the trash basket, but we're definitely here to grow.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was a trash. Don't be hitting on me.
This is not a trash basket. All right. What's being passed around is definitely not a trash basket. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into the mind of this woman and see if there's anything that people overlook that could have showed you fallacy in her argument early in the game. Because I saw it. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
Samuels didn't straight up tell no lies, and Charleston White don't either. So the thing is, you're hearing half truths come from the male perspective. When a woman is telling the whole truth, you're kind of going to hear some of the male perspective coming in, but you're going to now add the woman's perspective. So yeah, you're going to hear some Kevin Samuels in me. You're going to hear some Charleston White in me. You're going to hear a bunch of males in me because I'm actually out here telling the truth.
Okay.
Now, that statement alone doesn't make any damn sense. He said, men tell half truths, though females come and tell the whole truth, but within her is perspectives of Charleston White, a man, Kevin Samuels, a man, and she said because she's speaking from the perspective of man, she's telling the whole truth. That doesn't make any damn sense. Let's repeat that. Maybe I heard something different. What the fuck is she talking about? Let's go.
Is telling the whole truth. You're kind of going to hear some of the male. Here's the thing. Truth is all encompassing, right? And I don't pick and choose. So when you hear certain things, what you're hearing, because Kevin Samuels didn't straight up tell no lies, and Charleston White don't either. So the thing is, you're hearing half truths come from the male perspective. When a woman is telling the whole truth,
she just contradicted herself. She just said Kevin Samuels don't tell no lies and Charleston White don't tell no lies. And then right after that, she said they tell half truths. Like, what was y'all listening to? Because that's my thing with black people. Why does it take so much? Why did it take so much for y'all to see what's in front of you? Once you see somebody perform the atrocity or do something that don't make sense, you respond then. But it got to be sponsored by somebody else. They got to just come clean. Or the media got to tell y'all to see if someone's guilty or not. Y'all can see the footage. Y'all can see the examples of people doing the nonsense in front of you, but you don't say nothing because it feels good, because it fits your narrative. A lot of women supported this woman, not because she made sense. It's because she just putting men down and pushing women up. And a lot of women fall for that. It's not about the truth. It's not about what makes sense. It's about the fact that they bashing brothers and they speaking up for us. And whether they make sense or not, it don't matter. It's another one for us on the scoreboard. And she's a prime example of that. She don't make no damn sense.
you're kind of going to hear some of the male perspective coming in, but you're going to now add the woman's perspective. So yeah, you're going to hear some Kevin Samuels in me. You're going to hear some Charleston White in me. You're going to hear a bunch of males in me because I'm actually out here telling the truth.
Okay.
So when you speak with males, information inside of you, by default, it's the truth. That's what she said. That's what she said. this is what she said. It doesn't make any damn sense. If you have some information, why ain't no women speaking out for her? Why she can't speak no women's information? Why are you not evaluating men from the perspective of a woman who needs a man and who interacts with them on a certain level? Why are you speaking on behalf? Why are you speaking from a man's mind to women about why men aren't necessarily valuable? That doesn't make sense. All her information is coming from men. It doesn't make any damn sense. Terrence said it's on the idea men do not listen to women, but I'm saying these are all assumptions. So if a man is giving his perspective, the woman's perception is not included. See, that's just not true. And it's like, I think a lot of men, we so used to hearing women speak that we think like them and we access information like them. Women's perspective had to be included in the world because the world was created to make life better for them. So if we live in a world that has included women's hygiene needs, economic needs, all her needs are kind of made even more easier for her to access. Women's perceptions and perspectives are being included all the time. Historically, see, people think women's perspective not being included is them not being able to work and them not being able to vote. Like, that's the shit people be thinking. They were afforded to not have to do hard labor. They were afforded to live a certain privileged life to a degree where they was able to be kept and they didn't have to put their lives on the line at the workforce and in the army and all these things. They wanted to be that way. So to say that their perspectives wasn't included, no, they just was protected because they don't have the same capabilities of men, and men didn't want to put that pressure on them. But the fact that this is how people think, male and female, this shows you that they're not really, I don't know if people really paying attention, because the sisters' perspective, especially in the Black community for the last 50 years, have definitely been heard. The side that wasn't heard and the side that hasn't been taken account is the men. So for people to keep saying that, it's like, it's either you just want to cater to women or it's just that simple. Because I think a lot of men feel like if we make an objective stance against a woman's perspective, we're against them. And I feel like a lot of men would rather have women agree with them than men, even if they know it don't make sense. It's like, it's just something about our I guess being a Black man, we feel this strong obligation to be understood by women, despite their irrationality at times and unreasonable nature. We will still go out our way to understand what they're saying at the expense of understanding what your brothers are saying. So I think that's very interesting. Let's get back to this.
Let's get to it. All right, well, let's get some backstory. First and foremost, I'm curious, are you religious at all? And if so, do you believe in the Adam and Eve storyline as far as man, woman, how that came about?
No, I'm not religious. I grew up Baptist, and then I got out of it around 19 years old because I read the Bible for myself, and I realized it's some BS, right? And so, yeah. But then when you get into the Adam and Eve story, that's also BS too, because
yeah. Well, come on.
What makes that BS is this idea that the nature.
This is the problem with the Black community and why it's such a disdain for Black male perspectives. So he said the woman is bringing in both perspectives. She's not bringing in both perspectives. She's bringing in a woman's perspective. Because if she's bringing in both perspectives, then what is the man bringing in? Why is she more qualified to speak for both parties, but a man is not? So if she's bringing in both perspectives, anybody, male or female, that's talking in these conversations are bringing in both perspectives. Whether you agree with it or not, it's another conversation. But how is she able to bring in both perspectives if she's a woman? Because men, they say men can't speak for women. So how can she speak for both perspectives? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. But this is the thing, though. The fact that men think that women are more qualified to speak on both perspectives in the Black community says a lot. Says a lot. We gone. They got us. Well, now ain't got me. They got a lot of us.
Of the woman was deceptive, right? And
let's look at her name. How can somebody whose name Prince Seller be a queen maker? I never seen a prince or princess create a queen or king. But that's another story.
God's plan or whatever, that whole thing is a farce, right? And so because the Adam and Eve story is put out from the male point of view, what people forget is that Eve was cursed to be under a man. That wasn't the natural part of it. So this whole thing, the way that they push it is that the woman's natural place is to be under a man and supporting him and being his helpmeet, when they're not understanding that God, quote unquote, cursed Eve, which is total BS also, but that's the narrative that is more accurate to describe.
Where is the information where it says that? And I'm not going to act like I'm just super duper religious, but where's the information that says that God cursed Eve by being under Adam? Where's that? I never heard that. Where did y'all hear that? Did y'all ever hear that? See, what you don't understand is the first creation of the woman was someone named Lilith. And Lilith was the woman who came for Adam first, according to the story. Lilith was the first created woman, and she was trying to control and dominate Adam, and she was more of an antagonist to Adam than a help. Then Eve was created to be someone that's more in tune and more programmed to Adam's program and more willing to assist him. So the curse that Eve was given was the curse of, I believe, childbirth, if I'm not mistaken, not being under a man. But you see how she could just say whatever and don't provide no information to back that up? Let's see if she does.
Today, where women are.
So the curse, quote unquote.
Yes.
What would you say the curse is? Like
to be under men.
Just to be under.
To be under men and subjugated to them. That's the curse.
Okay, let's start with this as far as they always say what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that man came first?
No.
Do you believe that woman came first?
Yeah.
And then gave birth to a man?
I mean, that's evident in all of nature, right? The sperm can't do anything without the egg. And
how is the woman being created first evidence in all of nature? If anything, we can't say what came first. We know that there's been the only thing we know that's always been a part of the history of the world is a dualistic nature of female, male, positive, negative energy. That's what we know. We don't know that one came first. We know that there was always a dualistic nature throughout history and throughout science. Show me an egg that can create a child without sperm. Show me sperm that create child without life without an egg. What the fuck is she talking about? And why I say she full of shit, and people are too, because they hear this shit, they run with this shit, they parade these people, they put them on all these shows and have them on panels with talking. They don't be talking about a motherfucking thing. They just be saying some dumb bullshit, and y'all be eating that stupid, goofy ass shit up. And I don't mean to get all vulgar, but it's just really fucking stupid. It's not even deep. It's not even profound. People be acting like she be dropping some jewels. She ain't saying a motherfucking thing. What the fuck is she talking about? There is no history of any life being made without a dualistic nature throughout history, throughout the universe. There's always a dualistic thing, just like you got a man and woman. So what is she talking about? Where's her scholarship to provide back information for them?
And when you look into nature, the fact of the matter is the Y chromosome is a degenerate X, right? It's a degenerate X. Man comes from woman, right? Nobody wants to agree to that because the male's ego is at stake. So of course he wants to believe that the Y chromosome came first, but there is no traces of Y in woman, but there's a trace of X in man. I mean, that's just as basic as it can get.
So you're saying all men technically, just scientific?
What is she talking about? Brother said, yes, you are right. The curse was due to birth. The curse on Eve described in Genesis 3:16, pain and childbirth. I will greatly multiply your pain and childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Exactly. It was her disobedience. According to the story, it was her disobedience. It was the disobedience is what created the curses. It was them not following instruction. Him not listening to God and her not listening to Adam is what caused the curse, according to the story, if you believe that. So what is she talking about? But y'all ate this shit up. She talking from both perspectives.
In nature.
Yeah.
When it's firstborn women and they're changed to men or boys, whatever, versus boys changing to women based on the X and Y chromosome.
The determining factor that makes you male is the SRY gene. Without the
See, this is another. I really can't stand this goofy lady. This is another thing. If it's all about women empowerment, why are you dressed like a damn man? Why is everything about you masculine? If you know that the power and the essential energy is in the female perspective, the female persona, and the female energy, why aren't you exemplifying anything female in your delivery of your information? You don't even have female sources. You don't even have female sources of information. All information comes from men. But y'all ate this shit up. This is crazy.
If there was if there was a mutation on the SRY, do you know that you would be a female with the XY? If there was a issue with your
If
SRY
was
gene?
a fucking
Yeah,
fifth,
that's
we'd
the
all be
only
drunk.
thing that determines your maleness. Everything else comes from the female.
We're gonna be jumping all over the place because I just one question might open up another, and we're gonna be all over the place. So I'm curious, your thoughts when it does say a man who says, "Man, I was born a woman," and unfortunately, I have the body parts of a man, but I was born a woman, and vice versa, women who are still they're born men. Do you feel like that's something they're born, or is that a trait that is learned or comes over time?
Well, we can never eradicate the power of social engineering and programming, because by 24 weeks, a child is able to pick up the voices and language patterns of the parent, right? So the child is already being programmed before they even come out of the womb, right? So in this society where we're going, it's jacked up, right? It is real jacked up. And then with estrogen being put in all of the different foods in the water, a lot of things are going on. So yes, a person can be born with some issues dealing with their body and who they believe that they are. But all of that is rooted in a bunch of lies that they assimilate to when they get out into this world.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So now back to what you were saying as far as, the curse of a woman coming under a man. Do you feel it is the other way around, to where a man comes under a woman? And it's just based on nature, that the woman is technically, I don't want to say superior, but is the frontal being, and then the man comes under that.
That's the true pattern. That's the true way. The fact of the matter is, if everything was in its natural order, women would have the power to reject the majority of males. The majority of males pursue women. That's the natural order. And he doesn't get to choose who he gets to pass his genes through. The female gets to choose without law and law enforcement telling her she has to not deny a male sex and all of this stuff. The male comes.
Who the fuck live in a country where the law states that women have to accept the man that wants her? What is she talking about? Women have the power to choose right now. Women get to choose who they want. You can't. There is no law saying that you got to deal with a man in a certain capacity. Like, what is she talking about? Like, what, did I miss something? Like, she's just saying anything. Like, what the hell is she talking about? Let's take it back.
Have the power to reject the majority of males. The majority of males pursue women. That's the natural order. And he doesn't get to choose who he gets to pass his genes through. The female gets to choose without law and law enforcement telling her she has to not deny a male sex and all of this stuff. The male comes under her. If you don't allow the male to be governed by the woman and you put him on top, you have chaos and corruption.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm curious.
Where is the proof of this dynamic? What kingdom has been shown where women ruled it and it was just peaceful, highly advanced civilization that was ran by women? And what world is she talking about where men are allowed by law in America to just impose themselves on women? Women choose today. That's why men be saying they got to make better choices, because women choose who enters their body. But this is what this woman said, and y'all ate that bullshit up. Like, what the hell is she talking about? This is some goofy lady called Princella, Co. And she had women all gassed up thinking she was dropping some jewels and shit like that. And she wasn't. Now she backtracking. I used to watch her, but I felt like she was trying to turn me to the other side. Oh, not. And that's the problem. Why do people like this catch y'all attention, ladies? Why are y'all so hell-bent on finding someone who can just tell men off? Men have already been told off. That's the thing that people don't understand. I hate when men and women act like men haven't been told off by society, like they haven't been reprimanded, like their issues haven't been told to the planet a million times, especially black men. Why are we acting like our issues and our grievances haven't been aired by the world? Everybody knows what the fuck is wrong with us. What they don't know is who we've been dealing with at home. So when men act like, oh, the women, they need to hear this, and the men been hearing it. We've been knew what it was. Everybody blamed us for every fucking ill in society from all races in this country. So what message has not been told? That's my question to brothers. What message has not been given across to men? They've talked about their crime. They talk about them being fathers. They talk about the literacy rate, the financial literacy, the dropouts, the streets. What aspect of black male degenerate culture has not been addressed in the last 60 years? Exactly. They've been addressed. So for us to act like we never knew what's going on with them, it's like, let's just cut it out. Let's cut it out. Let's cut it out. But yeah, let's get to, I seen this is her on Street Stars. She was on there, and we're gonna double back. She came back, and she been up there recently, and she has a different tune. She's changed her narrative, and I'm trying to figure out what made you see it for what prevented you from seeing it before that you see it now. So that's my thing. What's the difference? Because men been saying this, but the problem is no one listens to men, so they have to go through it. Men's advice don't matter. People got to bump their head. Men are always telling people stuff, and they got to go through it, and then they have hindsight and figure out. Like, oftentimes, you talk to your children, you talk to your girl, they got to go through it for us to see it, for them to see what we was talking about. We are preventative. They are reactionary, reactive. We try to prevent problems. Women try to retroactively fix shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm not a virgin. I'm a newborn virgin, or I'm celibate now. No, you're not a virgin. You know what I'm saying? Women love to try to retroactively do things while ignoring men who have proactive ideas to prevent issues sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. So it's a shame that it took her dealing with an actual woman for her to realize what men was talking about from dealing with actual women, which makes me wonder, how was she in a marriage? How was she behaving? Because she has such negative things to say about men, but she obviously still co-parenting with her child's father. They seem to be doing okay. So let me remove her screen real quick. Let me change the video because she has a new attitude and a new tune she's singing. So let's get into it. She's full of shit. And these people believe any fucking thing. No one who's quoting men and quoting men's perspective can tell me the lack of value men have when their value has given you value. She just said out her mouth, I am a little bit of Kevin. I have Kevin Tennessee. I have Charleston White in me. So I get the truth. Men give half truth. Like, she don't make no goddamn sense. And I wish somebody would try to articulate this bullshit this woman talking about. Let's get to it, man. What is her new song?
That year, I made more money than I ever made in my entire life. I made over $250,000 that year.
You know, it's so funny. I seen a quote, right? Somebody said they started working for themselves when they realized it don't take no hour to make $20. And I said, damn, that shit was real. I said, damn, that's a good answer.
Another thing y'all gotta realize. At the end of the day, we all want to do better. We all want to eat. But these people' main objective with these messages is money. They understand the fickle minds of black people and how they can play on your mind and play on your perception of things and make a killing off of that shit. She done made her money. So now it's time to tell the truth. She done made $250,000. So it's like she's stuck in the algorithm. She gonna get her bread. So now it's time to come clean. Now it's time to tell the truth. Mind you, still looking like a man, still dressing like a man, still have a man's cadence, man energy, all of that.
Point. I don't think you can do the math.
Yeah, you know, the fact of the matter is, as long as people are around, you're going to have opportunity, because it's the people who are the opportunity, which people don't realize. So there are so many different things that people will pay you for. It doesn't matter if you draw, make content, make shoes, no matter what, there's always an audience.
Let's get to it though. Let's see what she's talking about, man.
She was so centered on only black people till he traveled the world and seen that other white people believe in Islam just like they do. And so he evolved, and that's kind of what changed him. Now that you speaking to many women, many men about these scenarios that you preach, has your stance changed, or is it still the same?
It's still the same, but it has evolved, because when I began doing this, I've always saw it in phases, and I've always saw it as an evolutionary path. And in my mind, I've always known that women needed a lot of help, that women needed a lot of development. But in order to start that process, women needed to know about men, because ultimately women don't know anything about men. They think they do, but they don't. They know nothing. And so a lot of women have their identities wrapped up in men. So
because they don't listen to men when they tell them what the fuck it is. They can learn about them. They just don't listen. They need a woman that dressed with some slacks and a fitted hat on to tell them what the fucking man been telling them for years. But I thought they was the most powerful. I thought they were so powerful. They're the leaders. They're the first and all of that. If they're so powerful, why do they need so much damn help? And why don't they know anything about what's beneath them if they're so powerful and they're the leaders of everything?
Speaking about men are really only like 10% of the equation. Women are 90% of the equation. So after I talked about men are men. They can't be anything more than that. They're not going to change. They're not going to become cats, dogs. They're not going to evolve into women. So after I finish speaking about men, there's really nothing else to tell women about men that I haven't already told them. So once that conversation is over, now we have to turn the mirror towards women. And what you find out is that...
See, Shorty, you about 40, 50 fucking years too late. See, what this woman just described, if y'all are listening, because people are tricky, you got to listen. What she just described is the overall dynamic. It ain't about you already talked to men. We didn't need you to talk to men or about men. That dynamic you just described was what happened in society. Women been being told about men since the 50s. It's been time to talk to them, sister. It ain't just time to talk to them because you went through something and you came into epiphany. You're fucking late because these people in this shit just for fucking money. We already established that. Everyone knows it's time to talk to the sisters. That's why we saying what we saying. So welcome to the party. You late as hell. These people be talking.
In these dynamics, 90% of the discussion has to be on women. And I find that women have a lot of problems. I find that women are very, very narcissistic, and they do not realize it. I think women lack a lot of self-awareness. And how I've taken my message, because I've got a little comedic edge, I find a way to show women themselves in a way that not many people can get women to admit that they are wrong. I have a way of getting women to admit, damn, I'm a terrible person, right?
You ain't getting women to admit shit, but that they was on top and minutes the problem. What the fuck is she talking about? What? I ain't never heard no woman who listened to her come to the conclusion that I'm the problem. See, when they listened to this woman, they came to the conclusion that we're the problem. What is she talking about? Did I something? Did y'all see something I ain't see? I'm really trying to figure this shit out because it doesn't make no damn sense to me. What is she talking about? This woman is full of shit. She just reiterated the entire perspective of men's gripes. So if you're watching somebody, if you're admitting that, it's not all women. Shout out to the women in chat. It's not all women, but the women that men are obviously having these grievances with. If you're admitting that they were self-centered and narcissistic, that means your analysis of watching the men dealing with these women can slightly be off because you're watching someone who's not dealing with someone in a natural dynamic. It is not natural for us to be antagonistic with each other. It's not natural for men to always be arguing with their women. It's not natural for women to always be self-serving and narcissistic. That's not natural. So when you're observing that, you can't make a conclusive analysis judging something that has been altered. See, that's what our people don't understand. We're trying to make these conclusive statements on where we at today, not realizing where we're at is an altered state. So you can't make a conclusion on it until you do it the right way. Then you can make a conclusion. It's like somebody have a recipe for brownies or something. If you don't follow that recipe by the mix, and if you don't follow the mix recipe and you make it, can you make a conclusion on you not knowing how to make it correctly? You can't make that conclusive statement because you didn't do it correctly. You have to do it correctly and then come to a conclusion of what a brownie is or what it tastes like because you followed the instructions. You cannot analyze what a man is truly doing or what a sister is truly doing when we're altered in an altered state of being. Men are dealing with a narcissistic person in an unnatural society. So what you see from that man may not be what you think you see. You have to look beneath the surface. So this woman is talking about absolutely nothing, and she never was. Let's get back to this bullshit. Fake deep shit.
I've gotten women to see how terrible they are as friends, as relationship partners. Women are terrible relationship partners.
Terrible relationship partners.
Man, sit your dumb ass down.
Sit your dumb ass down. What are you talking about? Welcome to the fucking party. Duh. This is why men were upset. Because they was dealing with that type of woman. They wasn't talking about every woman in the world. Just the women that exhibit those characteristics that you just mentioned, lady. So your whole premise is bullshit. Let's keep going, man.
Right? But, you know, for me, it's about the truth. This is not me taking sides because I believe that the world is in shambles. I believe.
So let me ask Brother Terrence if he's still in the chat. Terrence said that she gives both perspectives. So she's still giving both perspectives because when men were saying this, they were just speaking on behalf of men. So now that she's saying this, is she still giving both perspectives or is she just giving one-sided? I'm trying to figure it out because this both perspectives person came full circle to the so-called person who was just giving one perspective. Yeah, man, I don't know what y'all be talking about.
That the communities are jacked up. I believe that, and all of this has to do with human behavior and how the sexes relate to each other and how the sexes relate to the planet. So it's not all on men. Men have their things that's wrong with them.
For sure.
I spoke about that.
But the question I was going to say is that with men, right, I feel like as a man,
we didn't need you to speak about it. That's what she don't understand. Your perspective wasn't needed. We didn't need to know what Queen Maker thought about men. And if you were just going to come this full circle just to say this, that means everything you said had nothing to do with nothing. It was selfish, narcissistic, and it was for your personal benefit to make money because you are the exact woman that you are talking about. You are selfish and narcissistic. We didn't need you to tell us shit about men. We had plenty of men telling us. We did not need your perspective. You have not added some new data to the table that we didn't already have. These people are full of shit, man.
We're held accountable at almost every turn, right? Your mama holds you accountable. Your friends hold you accountable. Everybody kind of holds you accountable. Do you see the same type of path for women?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
I think women are allowed to be. They're allowed to be delusional. They're allowed to not be disciplined. See, give you an example. If a boy child is crying and a girl child is crying, if he fell and she fell, they're going to look at him.
But you just said on the other video that women are under men and they live in a society where laws are made to force them to deal with men. But you just said that they're free to be delusional. Which fucking one is it? Are they under some patriarchal imprisonment or are they free to be delusional? What the fuck is she talking about? I wish somebody would defend this goofy ass woman to me. I wish you fucking would.
And be like, boys don't cry, this, that, and the other one. And they'll just look at her. That's what girls do. They're just emotional. Let them cry. Let them do this. Well, that's bad because as girls grow older, they never know how to control and govern their emotions. They're allowed to allow any emotion, anger, frustration, sadness, depression, no matter what, they're allowed to express it however they want to express it. I've also come to the conclusion that, well, let me back up. Because everybody knows that I date women.
Right.
And when it comes to me speaking about relationship dynamics, a lot of the
She wants to be a man. She's trying to create a new world of new men that are women, but they're men, but they're women. Y'all don't see the play. She wants to be a man. She wants to replace men with masculine women. And y'all eat this shit up. She dates women, dresses like a man, speaks from the perspective of a man, bashed men just to spin the block and come back and say women need help. They guilty. They don't know how to talk. They have all the things men been saying. All of it. At the time, she was telling y'all we emotionally inadequate. We were saying what she's saying right now. This is the shit y'all be talking about. This is the people y'all put in front of men. These goofies.
Rebuttals always say, well, lesbian relationships have so much more violence. They only say that because they're thinking about a relationship where a man might be putting his hands on a woman. They're not including the other side of the equation where women are putting their hands on men and men are not calling the cops.
True. Yeah.
Oh my God. Really? You don't fucking say. Brothers, do this sound familiar? What is groundbreaking about this woman? This woman went through one scenario with a woman who wanted to stop at a guy. Think about this. She came to this conclusion when she was with a woman who wanted to stop at a Chick-fil-A when she was in a rush to go somewhere. And at that moment, everything men been saying became a reality. The fact that you were so taken aback by that woman shows that you don't know shit about women. You so focused on men, you don't know about your own social group. You never did. You just be running your fucking mouth because you're no different from all these preachers and all these content creators. You see a weakness in the consumer mind of women and you exploit that shit. See, women, y'all be thinking we the enemy. We your allies. These your enemies right here. These motherfuckers. We told you, we already told you what it was. She not telling you nothing new. She just feeding your ego and your vanity, and you made her rich. She made $250,000 off y'all. Just come back and say, yo, y'all narcissistic and crazy, and y'all don't know what you don't know how to do. That's what she did. That's what she did. Yeah, I'm a cook. You know I'm a cook. But yeah, support the chat, y'all. Support the chat. Damn, I ain't putting no gold in the chat. Hold on. Let me, 250, $250,000, man. $250,000 off y'all. Just to spin the block. Just to spin the block and just admit that we've been saying that what we've been saying is the truth. So if what we've been saying is the truth, guess what you've been saying all this time? It's a lie. That's what y'all don't understand. It's a lie. So I got a goal, y'all, of 10 super chats. I'm gonna try to raise that for the next 30, 45 minutes. Hopefully y'all can help me get that goal. If we can get that goal, I will have a Q&A session for about an extra 30 minutes or so. And y'all can just pick my brain and I'll drop the link and y'all can have just a quick Q&A with me. But I'm starting that now. So yeah, please help me try to hit that goal. But yeah, she's just talking. She's just talking. It's not making any sense. So the question has to be asked, are our women looking for solution or pollution? Are they looking for reasons to get better or reasons to stay the same? Because these people are just using y'all and keeping y'all in this state of perpetual loneliness. Yeah, you're making money, you're getting LLCs, you're buying land, all that, but you don't have a man. Not a lot of y'all. Some of y'all do, but a lot of y'all don't. You know what I'm saying? And it's people like this with this divisive information that's just gassing you up just to let you down in the end. You could just hear the truth from the beginning, from the person who was made for you, which is your man.
Women are very violent. A woman will put her hands on a man. She will hit him, spit in his face, call him all kinds of names, and everything is totally fine. Women are allowed to do this. And nobody should say anything about it. Now, these women they will be in these relationships and they will hit a man and they will take that same behavior and they'll take it to a lesbian relationship. See, it's the same person, same behavior, right? But it's looked at as different because the man is stronger and he's expected to hold himself. But a lot of times in a lot of these relationships, women are extremely narcissistic. And this is what I have discovered as I continue to work with women. And so what I realize is that women actually want men to be.
Because you're not a man. We're men. We date women all the time. We've been dealing with women our entire lives. A lot of us come from single mother homes, so we're familiar with women. A lot of times your mother got her female friends, so you're going to be exposed to a plethora of women, plus the ones that you're dating and dealing with. So when men speak about these things, it's from experience. We're not just making it up. We've been dealing with them our whole lives. You dealt with one at a Chick-fil-A, and all of a sudden you got a fucking deep-ass epiphany. The fuck out of here, man.
Slaves. They actually want men to be their personal slaves.
Oh, but you did preach that men were slaves in our first interview.
Yes, they are. They are slaves. But who are they slaves to? They're slaves to corporations, right? They're slaves to the military. They're slaves in everything that they do. Their whole purpose was for them to work for somebody. And that's what you see. The man then is a slave to his sex drive. And by a man being a slave to his sex drive, he turns around and becomes a slave to a woman who expects him to be a slave to his sex drive and her. So she uses that as a manipulation tool to try to get.
So if this is the case, your analysis of what you've seen men been doing has to be wrong. They're not these people that are incapable of this and that. They're dealing with the narcissistic person who's manipulating them using their sexuality and their connections to the systematic powers. That's what you've been witnessing. She definitely had a foot in her mouth. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to Culture Club. We got our first Tayfel said, but men been telling this y'all for the longest, but it don't matter. It don't matter. Shout out to the chat. We got Culture Club and L Nix with the two first super chats of the day, and I appreciate it, y'all. I appreciate it. Let's go. He said, "What's up, fam? Let's get it started. Hit the super chat, cash up, like, share, all that. Let's go. Let's go. Exactly. Culture Club with the $5 said, "You are funny, D Brava." Hey, thank you. You know, I'm just, I'm just tired of the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? The nonsense. It's just ridiculous. You know, now let's think now. Now look at the damage she's done. Look at the women who's listened to her for the last 2-3 years. What do they just say now? What do they think about themselves now? Like, this is not good. These people are not helping anybody. You know, that was a waste of time. You just created more resentment in women for 2 and 3 years. For past 2 years, you just giving them more fodder to be mad at their men, just to come back and say, you know what, it was y'all all along. Now, those women are what? Confused. You're creating confusion. You're an agent of confusion. You're not adding to anything. Let's go back. Let's listen to what she had to say on when she was with Charleston White. Let's listen to her diatribe, because she already said that women are not capable of being basically what we are. What she said first. These people be agents. Because first, the message was men are incapable of love. Men are incapable of loving. Now she's saying women are. So what is she ultimately saying? That black people are incapable of love. You got to watch these people. She's from the military. If black men don't know how to love and black women don't know how to love, then black people don't know how to love. These people are here to assist in your demise. They're devaluing you as a people so you can be expendable to the world. And they're coming from your own people. Whether they're conscious of it or not, that's what they're doing. They're telling the world we're incapable of loving each other. This is what this woman said. So let's go back and see what she was saying with Charlton White.
Through, and it's brought you to this place where it seems like of agreeing. So it's going to be really exciting to kind of dive into that. So Prince, I want to go into a little bit about your book. You know, you've written some books. The one that we're going to be talking about today is The Game, 41 Shades of Men. Please check it out if you haven't had a chance to. I want to ask you a little bit of question about something that you mentioned in the book. There's something that you named that's called the push, pull, beg, and plead method.
Yes.
So could you please define that, explain it, and tell us how that's counterproductive for women? Okay.
So in order to create a society that functions the way we do, you have to create resistance, right? Because through creating resistance and doing a backflow of energy, you create a whole host of problems that you can be an individual to create a solution for. So so feed people poison, make them sick, bam, I got the solution, right? Create a whole host of issues by creating a backflow of energy, and then you create a solution to the problem. So how women believe about men is that men are leaders, they're providers and protectors, and that they are that you are special if they give their love to you. So this is the belief, the subconscious belief that's deeply ingrained in women that motivates them, because men can't stop being men. The nature of a male, if you know anything about the occult or esoteric information, you have 3 planes. You have a physical plane, mental plane, and the spiritual plane. And the law of gender, or the principle of gender, is masculine and feminine energy. On the material plane, you have a masculine and feminine counterpart. The male body is the masculine counterpart on the 3-dimensional plane. That means, as a masculine vessel, he still operates on the masculine principle. And what is the masculine principle? The masculine principle is a moving energy. It moves, it does. It's not a still energy. So women believe that they can stop men, that they can.
Why you always moving? Why you won't be still?
They think that they can make males be still. So they believe, they try to use quote unquote love as a power tactic to manipulate the male to sit still.
Come on, sit down, boy, be still. Y'all quit that.
So the beg, plead, push, and pull method is the method that women use to try to convince men to do what she wants him to do. Give her emotions, be monogamous, do all of this, which is totally counterproductive because it'll never work, right? And so in order to fix the problem, you change the flow of the energy and you go with the flow. Women do not want to go with the flow of males because they do not understand the psychology, the nature, or the makeup of a male. And so they cause themselves problems trying to push, pull, beg, and plead for him to emotionally connect with her, for him to be monogamous and all this stuff, which the male is incapable of doing because it goes in direct opposition of his nature.
Charlie, I'd like to give you a chance to respond to that.
Man, shit. What, man? That's it. Man, the boy been a fuck up from day one, right? Man, she broke us down. That energy can't sit still. That's why he fucked up. If his mama saying be still, sit down, y'all quit making that noise, and he never get to go outside to get that energy out. That's why when he go to school and he don't get to go to recess, that energy cannot sit still.
So if, based on her commentary, a man under a woman's tutelage will not be given what he needs to be a full-blooded man. So how are we supposed to be under a woman if she don't even know how to connect with him and knows what his true nature is? How can we be under her? This is what she said. She said we have to be under them. The natural flow is for men to be under women, but she just admitted that they don't even know how to raise their boys. But we supposed to be naturally underneath them, according to this woman.
Right. So she broke down the whole makeup of us. This energy has to eat and it has to fuck. That's the desires of this energy.
Yeah.
So when a nigga go get a job, the job is for food and sex.
Yep, that's it.
The woman is for food and sex.
Yeah.
She has other traits. But if he's not capable and he don't have the energy to identify the traits outside of her cooking and fucking, then all he'll use her for is that. He can't do nothing else. And he cannot not be a man.
And that's why people fight me when I say men are incapable of love. They fight me, but he just said it. They can't do it. Here's why. Because men live in a perpetual state of scarcity.
That's
Sex is something that they
Let's rewind.
cannot
We said it again.
control.
Can't.
They can't.
Let's rewind.
Has other traits, but if he's not capable and he don't have the energy to identify the traits outside of her cooking and fucking, then all
he said the energy to identify. That's not the same as saying men are incapable of love. See, what they're talking about is a cultural problem. Men are capable of love, but you have to be taught what it looks like, and you have to understand that you have to see an example of it. We're capable of loving each other. Men are not incapable of love. Like I said earlier, men show love in more ways than emotional interaction. Men create infrastructure. You have to love people to create things for people to benefit from. See, we have to expand on what a man is and not try to limit it into something that's strictly defined by a woman's approval. Because even if a man is single without a woman, he's still doing things that benefit the way the world runs. Someone got to pick up your trash. Somebody got to clean up your sewage systems. That's love. That's the labor of love. See, love ain't just rubbing her ass and paying her bills and let her vent to you. See, men's love, he has the labor of love, which is something that is responsible for the entire society. These people are ignorant as hell. They just be running their fucking mouth and they only know what they're talking about. And they try to limit men and redefine what a man is and redefine what love is, what a man shows. But this is a woman doing all of this shit who's trying to be a fucking man. She don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And unfortunately, Brother Charleston's acting like she just dropped so many jewels because a lot of things we don't know for ourselves as men. So these women come with these perspectives because a lot of men shame on other men for studying spiritual perspectives, studying history. Y'all seen my history on this channel when I had the niggas told me, oh, studying history don't matter. It do matter. Because then if you know history, you know spirituality, you understand certain esoteric information. This motherfucker can't come to you and just act like she just brought some divine message from heaven because you already know what the fuck time it is. But niggas don't be reading shit. They just reactionary. So this woman could come like she's so fucking deep. She ain't said a motherfucking thing. Y'all are crazy, man. Read a fucking book.
Oh, he'll use her for is
Princess.
He can't do nothing else.
And
He
so-
cannot not be a man.
And that's why people fight me when I say men are incapable of love. They fight me, but he just said it. They can't do it. Here's why. Because men live in a perpetual state of scarcity. Sex is something that they cannot control. They can't. Every 20 seconds or a minute, sex is going through their mind. It takes so much energy just for the male to control his thoughts and stay focused.
That's why they go find God. That's why they have to get that religion.
God. They need religion. Religion is not for women. It is for men. It's for men.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Okay. So males, first and foremost, you have a.
Y'all ain't never talked to this one before either. And man, we talking the same shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got the left hemisphere and you have the right hemisphere. The left side of the brain is the analytical, logical side of the brain. It is the masculine side of the brain. The feminine side of the brain is the right side of the brain. Okay. That is the creative side. This is where all of your art forms come in. Leadership is an art form. All of the arts. Public speaking is an art.
Can I stop you right quick?
Go ahead.
That's why when you look at some of the greatest men who ran some of the biggest families that we know of, it was the woman. Barbara Bush, the Miss Kennedy, it was the woman who was raising these niggas to be great leaders.
Exactly. Exactly. It's the feminine. So the masculine, what women do not understand about men, this system has.
This nigga brought up Barbara Bush. Like, I didn't know that George Bush was a great leader. Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that George Bush Jr. was the greatest leader. But these people just be talking. Let them talk. That was a horrible example. What did George, if you know anything about George Bush Jr., he was a dunce. He was just a rich daddy's boy. He was not a good leader. So how is that an example of someone who raised him? He didn't say Martin Luther King. He didn't say Malcolm. He said George Bush Jr., bro. Y'all be listening to these motherfuckers, man. Y'all really be listening to him, man. No, I don't think he was being sarcastic. I think he's being dead serious.
Conditioned everybody to despise the feminine and cut the feminine off and shut it down. The male naturally operates from his left side of the brain. So the male is more logical in terms of, when people say the man is more logical, they put a period right there. That's not the end of that sentence. The male is more logical and is more analytical in terms of getting his needs met and survival.
Well, that's because he had to be made up like that to survive on this planet because he was a hunter in the beginning. He had to go hunt his food in the beginning. So he couldn't tap into the feminine side of the brain because he would be afraid to go in that darkness to go kill to feed his family for his survival. So he had to be analytic. That's why he's the hunter. That's why they say he's the provider. He was when he had to go hunt. Women, so it was a difference, right? So that's why when and I struggle with it. That's why when a man and a woman are having conversation about what he done wrong, what she done wrong, they very seldom can come to an agreement because the man can't relate to her side of the brain. She's saying, tell me how this made you feel, and he's telling you what he thought.
And here's the thing. What women do not understand is when males are born, they have most of them have communication deficits. A lot of them can't even tell you how they feel. They don't even have the words to explain how they feel. They have it's a deficit called alexithymia, right? That is a lack of an emotional vocabulary, and more boys than girls are affected with that.
I went into the boys' home. They used to give us a whole motherfucking sheet of all different faces.
The male can't even, he does not even have the ability to decode what a facial expression looks like.
She's telling the truth. Listen, man.
See, it's not the fucking truth. See, what they're talking about is they're talking about a black male or any race of male in this society. They're not able to do that. See, they keep removing the fact that you're talking about broken home made children, post-civil rights children, post-crack era children, post-traumatic stress disorder children. These are not children in a natural environment that they're evaluating. Everything is going to be tainted in a tainted society. So you're not truly making a full assessment on men, how they truly would be if in a natural, more conducive environment. If men wasn't able to do all of that, how are men able to create the things they create that benefit the entire world? You have to have some type of emotional, intellectual dexterity to create things where people can even express that for themselves. So I don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, this woman just running her mouth. These people are making assessments on our people post-trauma, which is not going to be a full understanding of what it really is, because you're dealing with a post-traumatic people. So everything is going to look tainted. So what you gain, what you're learning from these people post that is not, it's like dealing with a woman after she's been essayed. That's not the same woman. So what she does after that, it's not going to give you a full understanding of who she is, because she's been taken outside of her natural state of being. We expose to things that we're not supposed to be exposed to, and we try to evaluate ourselves after being tainted and altered mentally. And they make these conclusive statements that men can't love and all that. That's bullshit. Men can definitely love. Men have a great capacity of love. It just doesn't look like what women told you it's supposed to look like, because men's love is more expressive than an emotional exchange. They love the world that they will sacrifice themselves to create things for the world to further progress and for people to express themselves, whether they're in a relationship with a woman or not. Men still have that ability, and they still continue to do that. So with that being said, I'm not going to hold y'all up too long. I just want to chop it up and just expose the contradictory nature of this woman and a lot of other people that just be running their mouth. They just trying to make money off of the ills of the black community, male or female. And if we're just going to keep lying and keep letting people just say what they want to say, it's not going to get any better. You know, men have the right to be objective and tell you what it is. It shouldn't take a woman who wants to be a man to dress like a man to get you to understand what men been saying for the longest. So let's be real about shit. Let's stop capping. Let's stop caping for women, because we think if we upset women, we're gonna lose them, because most women are dealing with men that's objective in reality. Like I said, simps are only promoted publicly. Remember that, y'all. The simps are praised publicly, not privately. So the simps are always going to get the praise. They're always going to get all of that in front of the world, because women are they in PR mode at all times. They constantly have to keep presenting the image that they are acquiescing to this type of energy publicly. But behind the closed doors, that's not what they want. And that's not what they ever going to respect. So be a real man, call out the bullshit when brothers and sisters do it, but let's stop pretending as if men have never been checked and we've never had our coattails pulled. It's been pulled since I was a child. It's not nothing new. The only thing that's new is men having the audacity to turn the mirror and say, what is our partner doing? And Queen Maker has come to the conclusion that men already have made years ago. So it's not breaking news. She's not deep. She's not breaking no new ground. She's making money. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody that pulled up. Another episode of Philosophical Radio, and we are out. Hold on. We out of here, y'all. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Peace and love.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The Matrix. Do you want to know what it is?